Haven't you ever heard of a killer? I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Afternoon. Good evening, folks. I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. I want to get into a very interesting story coming out of the UFO community regarding the Jellyfish UFO. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp are going to be providing the Senate Intelligence Committee with the name of the intelligence agency that confiscated that entire 30-minute Jellyfish UAP footage the same night that it was filmed, saying that the agency is actually currently actively hiding it. We've seen Jeremy Corbell pushing this UFO or this video of this jellyfish. It looks like a jellyfish that seems to be modifying or changing its temperatures as it's flying. Listen, let's hear the news clip, shall we? Let's hear the news clip. The fact that here we are in 2024 and we've got all of this momentum around UFOs and the question, are we alone? And the fact that our government, the United States government, is still acting so strongly.
All right, so the latest UFO video flying around the internet has a lot of people, pilots and experts, wondering what it is, if it's anything. What is it? The Pentagon was no help. All it said was no comment, and it won't verify the authenticity of the footage. Notice it didn't debunk it, but as it's done with other such incidents, the man who released the video says the video was shot over an American military base by military pilots, and that man is Jeremy Corbell, one of the all-stars of the UFO community. He released the video, and he's given us even more tonight to show us. Jeremy, good to have you back on the show. So the Pentagon says it won't comment on the authenticity of the alleged DoD material that may have been leaked. That's a quote right there. While at the same time saying it's committed to openness and accountability. How do you square those?
Yeah, thank you for your question. And I'm glad your viewers are curious and listening to this. So look, Elizabeth, everybody is catching up with my and George Knapp's reporting, as has been the trend. The DoD is catching up. Even News Nation and yourself, who have been fastidious with looking into the UFO issue, everybody is catching up. So let me help you tonight. The reason why they're not at this point able to deny it is because absolutely they're going to have to confirm it. George Knapp and I worked for 3.5 years to develop new sources and people that came to us with these leaks, multiple people. So we have done our due diligence, and our DoD will be put in the corner. They have to be honest with the American public on this video. So we'll go from there.
Now, a Marine who was stationed at that base told News Nation that the video was taken by an intelligence surveillance balloon. And you say it was widely viewed inside the military before all of a sudden it was then confiscated?
Yeah, you don't have time for this on this program, but there was a dramatic set of events that occurred. It was confiscated immediately from the aerostat that was filming above the base. So what you are seeing is the first ever designated UAP by our government and multiple governments, UAP or UFO, from it's an incursion of a military base in a combat zone. So there are secondhand witnesses that are coming forward, but George Knapp and I have spoke to multiple firsthand witnesses. So what you're seeing here is people saying, oh, I saw that. It was filmed live. It was filmed live. It was somehow filmed live during it, but it was confiscated by an intelligence agency that night.
So how did it finally get out if it was confiscated that night?
Right. So people film in these combat operations centers, or an acronym like that, I guess they ripped the footage and it became the local story in that base. I can't tell you how I obtain information, but those videos are legitimate and they were leaked to me and to George Knapp, and we were able to vet them over 3.5 years. There are more videos you're not seeing, and I'm going to be able to tell inside of the right facility exactly where our Senate Intelligence Committee can find the rest of the videos, because by the way, it's like 30 plus minutes long, the actual video.
The actual original video is 30 minutes long.
That is correct, Elizabeth.
So you did send us some additional video. Tell us about it while we play it. This is an image. It appears to be. It looks a little bit like the Tic Tac video.
Right. So you have the same object that's filmed by the aerostat, is how I understand it, is the same incursion. There is a new portion or a third portion where it's over the water and it shows transmedium capability. It goes out over the water, stops on a dime, drops into the water for 17 minutes, pops out slowly and steadily, and shoots off at a very rapid rate of speed. That is the part of the footage that I'm going to be directing the DoD to. George Knapp and I will be telling them the names of who has it, the agencies who have it, and where to get it. So you get a second piece of video, which is the same object as how I understand it. It was an incursion at a military base, and lucky we have 2 out of at least 3 pieces of footage that were chopped up.
I'm looking at it as we're playing it, and granted, I'm looking at it on a monitor that's kind of far away from me, but it just looks like it disappears. I don't see it dropping into the water. Am I missing something?
No, so that part of the footage does exist. I can confirm that for you and your viewers with 100% certainty that footage does exist. So what you're seeing is what was held by the base when people were probably capturing it live. Now, how it got out of the base multiple times to me and to George Knapp, that I can't talk about, but that footage is legitimate UAP. Our government will have to answer for that. And I think they know it at this point. There's an active investigation, and they are going to be provided that information so they can go get it from the intelligence agency that is hiding it from them.
Man, shout out to News Nation, man. They really have been on top of, just reporting a variety of different UFO sightings and reports. Man, what other news agency have you seen that will do that or has done that? A lot of times, news agencies stay 10 feet away from anything related to this topic. So, again, the Pentagon's response or lack thereof is only fueling further speculation. The buzz around this video has been so big, it caused the Pentagon to issue a statement saying, quote, "no comment," end quote, and that it would not verify the video's authenticity. Again, this video was released by investigative journalist Jeremy Corbell. He has become a very prominent figure in the UFO community, especially after his documentary on Bob Lazar. Now, I've been watching and talking about things that happen in the UFO community for many years, and it's very nice and refreshing to have someone like Jeremy Corbell. I mean, he's staking his name on these things, and listen, it can be a very dangerous job to teeter into this sort of territory, but Corbell says military pilots shot this footage over a U.S. joint operation base in Iraq around 2018. The object was officially designated a UAP by the Pentagon, and the footage was taken with thermographic forward-looking infrared radar. Okay, and actually, let me kind of bring this up while I'm going to turn the volume down, but just take a look at that while I'm talking, okay? Again, this is dubbed the Jellyfish UFO, okay? Now, News Nation on their site has clearly said that they was not independently able to verify this footage, okay? Now, in a statement, Department of Defense spokesperson Sue Go states, quote, "We do not comment on the authenticity of alleged DOD material that may have been leaked." Despite this, she emphasized the DOD's commitment to laugh, sorry. She emphasized the DOD's commitment to openness and accountability while balancing the necessity to protect sensitive information, leaving some to wonder about the apparent contradiction. Corbell said the DOD has not debunked the video because it is likely on the verge of confirming its authenticity. The reason why they're not at this point able to deny it is because absolutely they're going to have to confirm it. Corbell emphasized that his and journalist George Knapp's 3.5-year effort to develop sources and verify the leaked material. Quote, "We have done our due diligence and our DOD will be put in the corner. They have to be honest with the American people on this video." Michael Sinkowski, a Marine who spoke with News Nation, was an intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance tactical controller at the base where this footage was shot in Iraq in 2018. He said he was shown the full video and that soldiers weren't sure what to make of it. Sinkowski says the video was taken from an aerostat, an intelligence surveillance balloon that looks like a blimp, and was over the base. It has cameras on it to keep a lookout for threats. However, Corbell countered this claim, stating that the video was confiscated immediately after being filmed. There was a dramatic set of events that occurred, according to Corbell. He went on to say that this footage was confiscated immediately from the aerostat that was filming above the base. So what you're seeing is the first ever designated UAP by our government and multiple governments, UAP or UFO. It's an incursion of a military base in a combat zone. Now, Jeremy Corbell has said that additional footage of the Jellyfish UAP exists and that there are more videos related to this incident. I want to see him. I want to see him so badly. He went on to say there are more videos. You're not seeing it. I'm going to be able to tell inside of the right facility exactly where our Senate Intelligence Committee can find the rest of the videos. Corbell said the extended video is approximately 30 minutes long and allegedly shows the UFO's transmedium capability, its abrupt descent into the water for 17 minutes, and its rapid departure. News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthart called the Pentagon's response to the video very revealing. He went on to say, "I must say it's very revealing for what it doesn't say. It doesn't reveal a categorical denial. It's the last resort of governments and intelligence services when they don't want to answer a question. Essentially, it's neither confirm nor deny." I encourage those, especially when it comes to stories, video, photos, the topic of UFOs, UAPs, or other life, non-human life, to leak. That's the point that our government has essentially brought us to, is that we have to beg for people to continue leaking things. LeakYou at LeakYou.com. Our government, for some reason, feels that we're stupid. The United States government feels that the people are unable to make logical decisions and choices, even if there is a danger to our lives and the lives of every American citizen around the world. If it's so dangerous, if there are things happening that is a danger to even one human life, but especially an entire continent of people, we have a right to know. And I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I don't have faith in our government. I don't have faith in our government to be honest with us, to be open with us. They lie to us. It is highly likely that the very agency that is releasing these statements, the Pentagon, is not even in the know. It is the whole need to know aspect, right? It's the whole need to know aspect of the rules. To think that only 12 men at one point in history was in the know and aware of everything that was going on when it came to items under this topic umbrella. And now it has been claimed that only about 50 people in the world are fully in the know. And I don't find that very fair. And then what I find to be another piece of unfair business is the fact that big wigs and rich people can rent out a penthouse and have a whistleblower come to their penthouse because they've got money and they can get information in the know, but we, the people, still don't have that information. I think people's priorities are screwed up. It is us middle, us poor folk. I mean, we may not be worth $50 million, but we have a right to know. It is us poor folk. Okay, if you make less than $50 million a year, well, I guess we're poor folk. Think about all the people that have went missing in this country. Not just adults, but children. There's a lot to be said. You better check out Missing 411 and the relationship between the missing and another form of life. I've heard things like soul harvesting, all sorts of things. Those are all dangers to our life. We have a right to know. Some of these experiences that people have had have been just outright terrifying. And at the top of mind, I'm thinking about Ted Rice. Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody in the chat? Shout out to Gino. Shout out to Just My Thoughts. Shout out to the 185. Thank you very much. Happy 2024 to you as well. Good to see you. They are really doing these things like soul harvesting, taking people's consciousness, putting it into a clone or into another biological body of some type, abducting or borrowing the consciousness of little children so that they can do 20 and backs or 20 and back inside 20 and backs. Okay. Secret space program. All of that just seems so unfair to me. Seems so unfair to me. again, the United States government thinks that we're stupid, and they think they have all the answers, and they think that we don't have a right and that we aren't allowed. And it's not that we aren't allowed, like we're too stupid to understand. I just find that so offensive. I do. I find that extremely offensive. All right, guys, listen, I appreciate everyone that came through. Excuse me. Hey, Miss Magnificent, how you doing? Do you think there's any correlation between the homeless people who disappear and even people who have no families? You never know. Just my thoughts. You never know. Definitely can't rule that out. They fear what the people are going to do to them when the truth comes out. I think what's going to really anger people even more is the fact that for the last few years, the government has had more pressure to tell the people. And yet, they still lie to us. They still lie to us. How's that fair? How is that fair? When David Grush came out, when he did that hearing on Congress, at Congress, and testified that not only are UAPs in our airspace, there's also dangers being posed to commercial airlines. There's not even a reporting system for these commercial airlines to report these sightings or dangers that may happen while they're in flight. A UFO craft, a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. I don't know why they changed the names up like that. It's like they think that they can, restart the history of something by changing the name. But on top of the fact that we've got commercial airlines being put in danger, David Grush straight up told us that the United States government is in possession of at least 12 craft of non-human origin. And that includes non-human biologics, bodies that was also found within some of these craft. And in one case, one of the stories coming out of this meeting that happened in this penthouse in New York City with a bunch of rich bigwigs, because I guess, they have money, is a craft that is a 40-foot long TARDIS craft. It's 40 foot when you look at it and when you stand on the outside of it, but when you step inside of this craft, it is bigger than a football field. Because somehow, something has figured out how to break that space-time barrier. And not only that, matter of fact, speaking of that, let me give a shout out to Earth Files, Linda Moulton Howell over there. She did a show this past Wednesday night, her typical Wednesday night show at 8:30 p.m. And she went into great detail about this story. All right. I want to show you a little bit of that. I think that it's pertinent. Shout out to Earth Files.
Later, he still has not had his cell phone returned and is contemplating a lawsuit against the Miami police. Then, January 12, 2024, the Hill News in Washington, D.C. headline, quote, "Classified UFO briefing. House members emerge with mixed feelings." Inspector General of the Intelligence Community, Thomas Monheim, confirmed for the House Oversight and Accountability Committee that intelligence analyst David Grush is who he says he is. Quote, "The meeting lasted about 90 minutes and was meant to improve transparency around the government's knowledge of UAP, but members left frustrated instead with many unanswered questions," close quote. 3 days earlier, on January 9th, 2024, at an exclusive New York City penthouse came another UK Daily Mail headline, quote, "Exclusive, UFO whistleblower David Grush held secret talk with Wall Street bigwigs and CIA officials in Manhattan, where Grush claimed US was in possession of a 40-foot TARDIS-like craft that was the size of a football field when you stepped inside," close quote. That word TARDIS, TARDIS, comes from the British science fiction TV series Doctor Who. The TARDIS is an advanced craft that is bigger on the inside than it appears on the outside and can go anywhere in time and space, even looking like a blue police phone box in England.
Let's just take a look at this slide for a moment, shall we? Hold on. The TARDIS. The TARDIS, TARDIS, is the Doctor's time machine, spaceship, and home. Short for time and relative dimension in space. It can travel anywhere in time as well as to any point in the universe. The TARDIS is dimensionally transcendental, meaning it's bigger on the inside than the outside. It contains a near infinite number of rooms, including a pool and library. The TARDIS features a chameleon circuit, which disguises its exterior to blend in with its surroundings. The Doctor's TARDIS has a faulty circuit and is permanently frozen in the shape of a 1950s British police call box. The Doctor's TARDIS is a Type 40 model and has had almost as many different looks as he has, changing its shape, size, and even color over the years. The TARDIS was grown, not built, and seemingly has a mind of its own, often taking the Doctor to a place at a crucial point in his, and I can't see the rest of it.
The TARDIS is an advanced craft
Amazing.
that is bigger on the inside than it appears on the outside and can go anywhere in time and space, even looking like a blue police phone box in England. The TARDIS is a hybrid of a time machine and a spacecraft and can change its outer dimensions and inner dimensions. So David Grush at the Wall Street secret meeting was reporting that the United States has hidden a UFO-related craft so advanced that it resembles the TARDIS first displayed on Doctor Who in the 1963 program, An Unearthly Child. A military pilot from Hill Air Force Base, south of Ogden, Utah, told me a few years ago that in a U.S. Air Force assignment, that he was asked to climb up a metal scaffolding next to a UFO that appeared about 40 feet in diameter, meaning the UFO appeared about 40 feet in diameter. And when he reached the top of the scaffolding, an entrance immediately and automatically opened up in the side of the UFO, and he had been asked to step inside. And he told me the interior was huge, like a football field, and that he felt disoriented and stepped back out onto the scaffolding and then back into the ship. And he said he stepped in and out several times trying to understand what was happening and to deal with the disorientation that he felt. Doctor Who in the UK TV series explained, quote, the presence of a physically larger space contained within the smaller police box is explained as, quote, dimensionally transcendental, close quote, with the interior of the UFO craft being a whole separate dimension containing an infinite number of rooms, corridors, and storage spaces, all of which can change their appearance and configuration, close quote. Sort of like infinity contained inside of a beach ball. In that secret Manhattan penthouse meeting on January 9th, 2024, David Grush said the TARDIS time machine and spacecraft can manipulate both time and space and could produce enough energy to power 70,000 homes a year. 70,000 homes a year it could power. According to the UK Daily Mail, David Grush also told the secret penthouse group that the United States was involved with UFO crash retrievals even before 1933. Grush also told the private group that the US government has, this is the word, murdered people to keep UFOs and ETs secret, and that no more than 50 people, 50, know the full scale of the phenomenon. Air Force Intelligence Officer David Grush's meeting.
Wow, man. Wow. Incredible. And you know Linda Moulton Howe is like the GOAT, right? The information that it's just insane, guys. It's just insane. Listen, the United States government cannot contain this. It is out of their control. They have no control when it comes to this topic. At the end of the day, we see UFO craft showing up in pretty much every country in the world. And in some countries where they may not have as much of a sophisticated government machine, so to speak, as we do. You know? David Grush, don't let those rich people suck you in, man. Please remember that we the people, us that, you know, those of us that don't make $50 million a year, we deserve to know. We have a right to know. We have a right to know. Because at the end of the day, it's those of us that make less than $50 million a year that is doing most of the work in this country. Okay. Don't forget that. You all, I appreciate each and every one of you coming through. Before I step up out of here, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
And you can join us on Discord. The link to the official LeakYou Discord is discord.gg/LeakYou. Shout out to those of you that came to join me today in the live chat. I will see you when I see you. Until next time, everyone.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8,
God bless you, motherfucker.
When you're really smart, like really, really, really smart like I am,